Whoop-de-doo. Oh, hi there, everybody.
Barney the Dinosaur has a history spanning over 30 years as a stuffed toy that springs to life whenever he's needed.
Sure wish you'd hurry up and grow big and tall.
Whoa, is this big and tall enough, Sean?
Something so iconic that even the simple sight of one of the plush dolls from the show to an everyday person will spark some sense of nostalgia. However, show any casual person a photo of this, and you may run into some brief confusion. Barney began in 1988, and there are numerous videos currently on the channel speaking about the history of this franchise that'll be linked in the description, but what we'll be discussing here is one of the strangest cases in this character's lifetime and the mystery behind its disappearance.
Thank you, Buck. Barney, where are you?
The original Barney plush doll first appeared in the home video The Backyard Show, released in 1988 as part of the Barney and the Backyard Gang series. Although prominently mentioned in the theme song that Barney the Dinosaur is a character derived from the imagination of children, the fact that the production crew, the Lions Group, needed a toy to represent the new character in the video series seemed to slip past everyone's mind. So much so that the doll that came to be was only done so just a few weeks before filming officially began. Jamie Ruth Connor, a woman with a background in puppetry, would take on the task, her contributions to the franchise only truly coming to light over the past few years. Jamie not only built the first plush for screen use, but put on paper Barney the Dinosaur's finalized design as a whole and oversaw its production by the Irene Corey production crew.
Barney! He's back!
In just 2 days, Jamie was able to trace out patterns and construct the Barney plush, bringing it to completion right in time for the home video series to make its mark.
Look what I found! Barney the Dinosaur! I'm going to put him right here so he can watch our show.
The 1988 doll for Barney the Dinosaur is often remarked for its unusual appearance, especially in comparison to what would come much later in the franchise. Succeeding plush dolls would take their own liberties while maintaining a straightforward resemblance to their costume variants. However, the 1988 Barney doll is strikingly different than even its full-body counterpart. In over 30 years, the 1988 doll remains the only one of its kind in a variety of fascinating ways. It remains the only plush doll used in the franchise to feature the T-Rex fingers that Barney became well known for, because he's a T-Rex. It also remains the only doll used on screen to not show Barney's teeth in any way. Instead would be a pink piece of fabric, in a strange way meant to represent both a smile while also referencing the tongue that the Barney costume would have at the time. Barney stands straight up, as opposed to the crouching position that would eventually become a mainstay. The most fascinating set of liberties taken all lie in the face. Interestingly, the facial structure of Barney's doll form in no way resembles that of his fully realized self, coming to more of a cone shape rather than a fully fleshed out head.
These chickens?
Yeah.
No. My father got...
What about your
Indian,
dimple?
Can we get over this stuff?
His eyelids also appear to be that of a standard purple, as opposed to the deep purple used throughout the doll's body as well as the costume itself. The eyes, placed on both sides of his head, have a vintage look, even for the time, with lush eyelashes. And for the only time, when Barney would wink at the camera at the end of the videos, he would do so by closing his eye as you would expect, done so with digital frames drawn over top the footage. The Barney series following would replace this with a sparkle added instead. We could go on and on with the distinct details of this design, the round black nostrils, the green soles underneath the feet. This iteration of Barney stands out in so many ways even today. I also want you to notice that the only pieces of footage being shown are from the first 3 tapes in the franchise's history. Those being The Backyard Show, 3 Wishes, and A Day at the Beach. The reason being that once these tapes wrapped up, this doll would be packaged up, seemingly never seen again. The 3 tapes were originally meant to be it for Barney, but after their popularity rose, the series continued, with redesigns of the character taking place. The original costume would be brought out for certain occasions even still, but the doll itself would not. Certain ideas and inspirations would be lifted from it to create the new iterations under the new refreshed design of Barney, but there was no real reason to use this plush doll again. What's strange is that, despite this being a piece of American pop culture history, its whereabouts to this day are unknown. Props from the early seasons of Barney and Friends pop up from time to time, with the studio plush dolls existing to this day in one way or another, but the one that started everything off has been lost to time. Making matters worse, not only are there little to no images of this piece of art available, as photos taken on set for a series unsure of its future back in the late 80s would of course prove to be scarce, but Jamie Connor only created this one doll. No stunt variants, no alternate variants, no backups. What was shown on screen was the only one in existence. For all intents purposes, this was Barney. Andrew Olson, one of the most dedicated members of the Barney community, went on his own search throughout the Texas area gathering information, but at the time of recording has come up with nothing. It seemingly was last seen in a storage crate with other props from the time, including Moonkin, the alien on the moon from the Three Wishes tape in 1989 that only appeared once and never again. that storage crate might as well just been trash. Sadly, along with a lot of things from that time period, with Barney taking on a full redesign after these tapes, there wasn't much need for this original incarnation much longer. Even evident from the fact that these original 3 home videos went out of print in the early 90s after the Barney and Friends TV series took off. The Lions group wanted as little confusion as possible from the appearance of Barney in the TV series and what he used to be.
Barney has changed through time just as we all do. I wish that I looked the same today as I did 6 years ago. But no, Barney has changed somewhat in his appearance. He's gotten a little bit more purple, and we actually came up with Barney's look at the company and hired some local people to help us fabricate him. But he was very excited about his growing and changing and new looks along the way.
It's likely that Barney's original plush wasn't deemed necessary to hold on to at the time, and eventually found itself lost to time before anyone could double back. See, this is why media preservation is so important. With the prominence that Barney the Dinosaur has on our culture today, it's unfortunate that no remnants of his original incarnation have survived. The original costume being destroyed in the early 1990s, and the toy created for the kids to play make-believe not even being able to show itself in a museum of any kind. With no concrete confirmation on its destruction or certain loss, the possibility of Barney's original plush still existing somewhere on the planet is very real, albeit very slim. It's crazy to think that a design so out there, so unique and different, so outlandish when put next to what we know today, is and has only been documented through its appearance in 3 VHS tapes from over 30 years ago. These are his home, these are his proof of existence, and although lost to time, it's important we never forget Barney's roots, as they laid the foundation for not just the franchise, but a lot of our memories. If you don't remember where you came from, you'll never know where you're truly going. And as long as our imagination still persists, the original Barney will always be around, as one of the most interesting pieces of lost history in children's media.
He sure is. Thank you, Barney, where are you? There he is.
Where did they get the sand?
Oh.
What do you guys do around here when I'm not around?
Amanda, Austin, Brandon, Chaco, Daniel, Emilia, Grace, Helen, Ian, Luke, Matthew, Quirky Girl.